Hey there everyone, Rick Ucchino here again for SK Wrestling to break down another Monday Night Raw. And oh boy, let's get into this one, shall we? It was Legends Night this past Monday. Always nice to see some familiar faces. Some, not so much. Believe me, we'll get there. Why don't we start, though, with the positives from this past show? What did Monday Night Raw get right? And then we'll dive into the negatives, shall we? Okay, so usually I do 3 positives. 3 of them. The first one, that's obvious. The main event absolutely banged. Drew McIntyre and Keith Lee, they beat the holy hell out of one another to close out the show. Keith Lee sent Drew McIntyre flying into the Thunderdome crowd. Drew McIntyre powerbombed Keith Lee onto the corner of the announce table. Ow. These two put on an absolute show. Just an all-out war for those who stayed up to watch it. I love that there wasn't any BS involved in this ending. It was just 2 brontosauruses battling it out, and McIntyre eventually won clean in the middle of the ring after hitting the Claymore. Keith Lee, though, he's going to be fine. He has arrived. I would love to see him maybe step up to Bobby Lashley next. Just let those 2 butt horns for a while. Tell me that wouldn't be awesome. Anywho, great way to end the night. Perfect way to close out the night. If they just would have cut the feed there. Don't worry, we'll get to it. Okay, positives. Okay, oh, I know, okay. The evolution of Randy Orton, a little bit. Interesting on Monday night. Interesting. The Legend Killer kind of lost his killer instinct on Legends Night. We found out that he showed compassion to Alexa Bliss last week.
What?
Didn't light her on fire after all.
What the f?
And then throughout the night, he spared the Big Show, Ric Flair, and a hobbled Mark Henry from a beatdown. Yes, he did defeat Jeff Hardy later on in the night, but he just seemed to lack the willingness to go to the depths that we've seen him go throughout his career, and he blamed it on his interactions with The Fiend. Not sure how this is going to play out, but again, it's interesting. Okay, positives. Oh, hey, Matt Riddle called Keith Lee a beautiful man. That made me laugh.
Are you serious?
In the moment. Alright, well, there you go. That's 3. That's 3 positives. Switching over to the dark side here. What the hell was this show? The things that they did either didn't make sense or were just utterly pointless. Where do I even start? I don't like being overly negative, but come on. How about the fact that you brought in all these legends, right? And most of them just stood around for 6 seconds of camera time and that was it. I mean, yeah, sure, they got a front row seat to the main event, but that's hardly worth the trip, right? Poor Tatanka just got in full gear just to stand there. It was Kane at Survivor Series all over again. I get the reason for doing this. You see baseball teams do this a lot when they have problems selling tickets, particularly my hometown Cincinnati Reds. When in doubt, trot them out. But instead of Pete Rose and Johnny Bench, they bring out Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair to try and boost up those ratings. So Flair cost Charlotte a match. He gets yelled at. Then later on, he gets berated by Randy Orton again. Torrie Wilson and the Boogeyman did cost Angel Garza his 24/7 championship. It's back around the waist of R-Truth where it belongs. But other than that, this was just a giant game of find the Easter eggs. There was no real point to having the people there. And they didn't even have everybody who was advertised. Carlito, the biggest one, that one really disappointed me. I would have loved to have seen him back for Legends Night, and hopefully to do something more than just stand there, but considering we didn't get him at all, give me a cardboard cutout of the guy. Something. Anything. Meantime, time for the lightning round. The Miz, again, lost after a bad opening segment with The New Day. Not exactly building up your Money in the Bank winner. Hulk Hogan's promos? Yeah, those sucked. We waited a full 35 minutes to find out whether or not Alexa Bliss was lit on fire last week, and Randy Orton simply stated that, oh, he showed her compassion. Really? That's it? After last week's big cliffhanger, that's how you finished it up? To make things worse, we didn't see Alexa Bliss or Bray Wyatt for the entire show. 3 current champions lost non-title matches last night because that's the only way the company can have people earn a shot anymore. Asuka still doesn't have a title program of her own, while Charlotte, meanwhile, has entered the Royal Rumble, so it looks like at this moment, we're not going to get a Raw Women's Championship match or a Women's Tag Team match at the Royal Rumble unless Charlotte pulls double duty. WWE, meanwhile, continues to push this abomination of a Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce tag team upon us. Lacey Evans also tried to bang Ric Flair for some gross reason. Shayna Baszler, meanwhile, beaten by Dana Brooke in mere minutes with a cradle. She didn't seem to care a whole lot, and then was subsequently beat down by Brooke and Mandy Rose, and Nia Jax was nowhere in sight. And lastly, guys, just why? Here we go. Another WrestleMania season, and it's time for Goldberg. Time to rinse and repeat because WWE just can't help themselves. After an absolutely banger of a match between 2 superstars who WWE should be building around, out comes the former Universal Champion to challenge Drew McIntyre, and suddenly we all know what Legends Night was really about. This was all one massive setup to bring out Bill Goldberg. Look, I have nothing against the man himself. Truly, he is a legend, he is a Hall of Famer, he's made his mark in this business. But it's very obvious that he is now past his prime, and he does not belong anywhere near the world title picture. Especially because every time he gets a world title opportunity, he wins! He wins! Inexplicably, he wins! So let's just play this out, shall we? Drew McIntyre has been WWE Champion for the better part of a year now. He has defeated the absolute top guys on Raw. Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and now Keith Lee. He took everyone's best shots and just kept coming until he was the one that came out on top. Now, he's going to fight Bill Goldberg. And, guys, we know how this is going to play out. Spear, spear, spear. Maybe another spear, maybe a little bit of offense for Drew McIntyre, spear, hopefully a good jackhammer, and yeah, that's going to be it. Goldberg is going to become your WWE Champion. How? And why? To what end does this work out? Who does he hotshot the title to at WrestleMania this time? Probably Brock Lesnar again, which would send me on a completely different rant, so let's not go down that path. The last time we saw Goldberg, he was destroyed by Braun Strowman at WrestleMania 36. So now all of a sudden he's going to go up against Drew McIntyre and possibly beat him for the WWE Championship? No, dude, no. I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen, but of course it's going to happen. It's Goldberg in a title match right before WrestleMania. Get ready to feed him another prime superstar. They did it to Kevin Owens, they did it to Bray Wyatt, and now it appears that Drew McIntyre is next. That's our video this time around. Make sure to give us the old thumbs up there and make sure to subscribe to the SK Wrestling YouTube channel for more content like this, plus exclusive interviews and more.